Round 12 of the 250cc World Motocross Championship came to America, to Bud Creek, Maryland. And as you can see by the size of the equipment, we are most certainly here in the United States. Just look at this array of trucks. The Honda trucks there, the Yamaha factory racing team. They don't use pit bikes, they use trolleys. There's Bollé, Frédéric Bollé, the French youngster. Donny Schmidt, very much at home back in the States here is Donny. And it really hasn't been the best of years in the 250 ranks for Donny Schmidt. The bike there of Bollé, number 14. The Yamaha truck. Now just look at this. Fancy going to a motocross meeting in one of those. And that's the crate containing the parts and the bikes of 75, Joki Carlson. And number 2, that's the crate with Stefan Everts' parts in. And there is the machine of Stefan. And there is Stefan with team manager Alec Wright. And Stefan, recently back, RWJ's team rider. That's the machine of the Brit, Robbie Herring. But just look at those trucks. And those are just for carrying the clothing. This is the bike of former US champion Jeff Stanton. There is Jeff Stanton, looking a touch thinner than he was last time I saw him anyway. So Stanton, certainly a favourite for here today. Greg ALBERTIJN, 30 points in the lead in this championship. Coming here to round 12, Kurt Nickel, the British rider, number 4 in that Castrol Honda. And it had a great deal of overnight rain, as you can tell by the circuit conditions. Stefan Everts. And remember, Everts back his first ride after breaking his collarbone in a freak training accident in Finland 2 weeks previously. He's got a 6-inch rod, or pin as one would describe it, in his shoulder. That can only be painful. But if Everts wants to have a crack at the championship, he's got to have a go at it. 92 there. That's the bike of Jeff EMIG, the American. And as you can see, Everts receiving treatment to that broken collarbone and a great deal of pain. One can only applaud the young man for his courage. And just look at that for a workshop. Some of us don't live in houses as big as that. Greg ALBERTIJN then makes his final preparations in the Suzuki truck, ready for the start of Heat 1. There's the bike of the championship leader. Well, with that overnight rain, the organisers here decided to make a few alterations. Got the trucks out, and the following day, very, very hot. Werner de Wit here, number 7, walks through your picture with that little beard and moustache. 5'2½". There's Stefan Everts. It's very, very warm. The temperatures have soared. Number 5, Marnicq BERVOETS, settles himself down and prepares his starting blocks. And a big crowd, fair dues to the Americans, have turned out en masse to enjoy some super motocross racing. 77 on the Pepsi-Cola Honda, a Frenchman, Yves DEMARIA, comes down onto the line first. He was the quickest. Number 5, Marnicq BERVOETS on the Johnson's BFE Suzuki. Werner de Wit there, number 7. Number 4, the Brit Kurt Nickel, with number 3, Donny Schmidt, and number 2, Stefan Everts. And I wonder what's going through his mind at the moment. Must still be in pain with that broken collarbone. Bearing in mind it was only 2 weeks away. And 39, that's Paul Cooper, the South African. He's got a problem. Carl Presswood, a fellow South African, he's mechanic, and the official there telling him he's got about 2 minutes to fix it. AMA racing here in the United States as the 15-second board gets hoisted. 5-second board spins around. The gate is going to drop any moment. Here we go. Bollé up the inside. That looks like ALBERTIJN. And, well, there's a photographer standing right on that corner. And they've gone, well, that was Stanton's. That photographer, I understand, has just got well and truly wiped out, and it's broken his leg. Well, you don't stand on the first corner of a motocross track after the start if you want to survive. They've probably got some great pictures from floor level. It is 92, Jeff EMIG from DOWD. DOWD, it is the second American second. John Dowd, and the rest come screaming through. Well, so far it's America 1 and 2, and ALBERTIJN caught up in that first corner melee. He's got a terrible start. 30 points leading into this championship, but just look at this. Jeff EMIG, former 125 outdoor champion, John Dowd, and then it is BERVOETS and the Belgium Stefan Everts. So we've got Belgium's 3 and 4, so chasing the 2 Americans, and that is the Frenchman DEMARIA, 77 on the Pepsi Honda back there in 5th, as the rest come screaming through, and ALBERTIJN has got to really get some serious power down if he wants to keep that points advantage. Stefan Everts, the man that trails him by 30 points, and Everts is currently in front of him, so that's more points. Just look at that. High leaping, high flying American, Jeff EMIG, with Dowd chasing in 2nd. There's Everts. He is still behind Marnicq BERVOETS. And then it's DEMARIA closing on those 2, so the top 5 gone through. Well, that's a big double. And there's ALBERTIJN, all the riders safely getting over these big jumps, which is only normal for the United States. After all, they are one of the world's leading supercross riding nation, as one would say, so they're quite used to getting the wheels firmly off the ground. And look at this, it's a battle on here. Oh, is he going to let him through? No! Well, Everts trying to get past second place man John Dowd, and in true American style, the door was firmly slammed straight in his face. Well, I'm sure Everts won't be too pleased about that. There's ALBERTIJN going for a tear off on his goggles, trying to get inside the riders in front, and that looked like number 8 Talon Volan, the American. Volan contesting the whole of the 250 championships this year, 1994, not just, as we call him, an interloper into one brand. And Everts in trouble there. Stefan Everts in trouble, letting BERVOETS back through.
Number 79.
92 it is, Jeff EMIG. We're looking back for 2nd, 64, John Dowd. Then it is Everts, with BERVOETS in front of him, with DEMARIA closing. So whether that collarbone problem of Everts's is beginning to take its toll, well, you just imagine breaking your collarbone and then riding a full 30-minute plus 2-lap motocross event 2 weeks later. Well, that takes a lot of courage. 6-inch pin in that shoulder, titanium pin. But there's the leader, the American, Jeff EMIG. 2nd place, also American. Now under pressure from the Belgium, BERVOETS, John Dowd it is, number 64, and Everts is still in touch. Stefan Everts, what a challenging little rider. Former 125cc world champion, has tried once already to win this 250 championship, and try as he might, he just doesn't seem to be able to get there in the end. Still the 2 Americans, 1 and 2, and it's the 2 Belgians, 3 and 4. Everts being the man in 4th place. DEMARIA looks to have dropped back a little bit. I don't know what's happened to him. Obviously he's been off. Bolle coming through. There's Voland. And there is ALBERTIJN. That start really has played a crucial decision on where he's going to finish in this race. He really did get hooked up when they clouted that cameraman on the first corner. And I should imagine now he's feeling pretty sorry for himself. It is still as it was, with BERVOETS and Everts trying to close on the 2 Americans, and you can hear the local crowd right behind their native riders. DEMARIA just gone through. The battle is certainly on for the lower placings. Kurt Nickel there, the British rider, number 4. This is not a good one for him. It really is, and there's ALBERTIJN. Well, he is way down. He's got Donny Schmidt, the ex-American, or exiled American, but it's going to be a win then for number 92. Jeff EMIG, to the delight of the crowd, but look at this 2nd place man. Came through, it was Marnicq BERVOETS. 3rd then was Dowd, and 4th was Everts. 5th, DEMARIA. And Stefan Everts there in some distress. He requires a drink. It's very humid here at Bud Creek. The Americans are very used to this temperature, but not the Europeans. He desperately needs a drink to Stefan. Well, there is the winner, Jeff EMIG, looking very cool and calm. Race 2 to come. Mike Healy then, that's a young man that we've seen over the years racing various categories of bikes in Europe, but he's here for a one-off ride in this 250 Grand Prix. There's Greg ALBERTIJN just surveying the scene, wondering what he can do in Heat 2 as fastest man in time training this morning comes down onto the line, the Frenchman DEMARIA, and picks the same gate. BERVOETS, Nickel. BERVOETS finishing second in the first heat. ALBERTIJN thinking, I need to stay out of trouble. Everts, well watered and ready for Heat 2. 13 beside him as they settle up. There is Heat 1 winner, 92, Jeff EMIG. All that final preparations being made by all the riders. 48 beside that group with Steve LAMSON. There is Bartolini and the Frenchman DEMARIA. 8 is Talon Volan. 3 we looked at just momentarily there, Schmidt. As the board is readied, there it is, 15 seconds. Let's hope they keep the cameraman out of the way this time. 5-second board, gates go, oh, they jumped it. Well, oh, well, they're going to let this go. About 3 of them jumped the gate, and I'm fairly sure they're going to stop this and bring them back and start them again. Yes, indeed they do. Well, whether or not they're going to penalise those gate jumpers or not, I don't know, but certainly about 3 or even more misread the gate. They tried to go too soon. Let's see if we can get it clean this time. Oh, someone got it. Someone really got a good front wheel over the gate that time, but he got away with it. Round that first corner, here they come. Down they drop into the bottom of the circuit for the first time. They sort themselves out. Just look at this for high-flying stuff. And it is ALBERTIJN, number 1, who led off the gate. Albi making amends for that first race. Everts there, back in around 4th as they sort themselves out on this first lap. But the South African ALBERTIJN, whoa, nearly for somebody there. Robbie Herring, number 12, going through. Didn't have a good first race. But it is the South African, number 1, Greg ALBERTIJN, who heads Heat 2 away. We're looking back for second. It's Talon Volan, the American. 91, that's Jeff Stanton. So Stanton this time managed to get a good start. Obviously no cameraman lurking on the corners. Stanton, well, somebody's gone down, and it's ALBERTIJN. Steve LAMSON and DEMARIA went ahead of him. It is now then Volan that leads from Stanton. And we're hearing that this is the last Grand Prix that Stanton will ride. Well, what can you say about Jeff Stanton? Former American Supercross champion, former American 250 champion. ALBERTIJN now with Werner de Wit behind him, his teammate. And he must be absolutely cursing himself for that. Look at this. This is Volan, Stanton and Everts as the American commentators join us here in the program, giving us all the local information. And look at this, ALBERTIJN beginning to close back on him again. There's Bartolini beside him. We're back at the front, catching up back markers. That's Talon Volan, and Everts has gone through to second. Stanton down to third, and he's got ALBERTIJN fourth, climbing all over him. So ALBERTIJN really does want that back. There's Bartolini behind him, 79. There's ALBERTIJN again, and he's up with Stefan Everts. These are the 2 that are battling for championship honours at the moment. But it's ALBERTIJN that's got, or had, the 30 points, although that'll be a little less coming after the first race. But Stefan needs to keep ALBERTIJN behind him. JHK Kawasaki versus BFE Johnson Suzuki. There's Bartolini, DEMARIA going through, and Stanton dropping back. Obviously getting tired, so it's Volan from Everts, from ALBERTIJN at the moment. So we've got 3 regular 250 Grand Prix runners. And that looks like de Wit behind him, so that's 4 of our regulars up front at the moment. So where's all the American superstars? EMIG, no sign of him. Dowd, Stanton has dropped off the pace. And, well, oh dear, ALBERTIJN looks to be cruising. Now that could be he's got a problem there. That could be a reoccurrence of an ignition problem that they had earlier in the season. So the positions are changing, and look at DEMARIA climbing all over Stefan Everts. The Frenchman wanting extra points to whip it behind those two, so he's picked up a place with the exit of ALBERTIJN. But Volan it is at the front, Everts chasing, and it looks, where are we, look at the, no, DEMARIA is still there. As you can see, the American stars and stripes being waved, but they've not much to wave at the moment. Although, saying that, they've got an American lead in the race, if not a regular Grand Prix. DEMARIA to second then. That's Everts down to third, so the Frenchman finding that second breath. Then it's DeWitt, first of the BFE. Team Johnson Suzuki riders with ALBERTIJN out. They come down the hill, the leader, number 8, Talon Volan, and they're pleased, the locals are pleased, that's DEMARIA chasing him. So it could be a win for a Frenchman by the checkered, and Everts visibly going slower. I can only wonder whether that shoulder of his, that collarbone, is beginning to take its toll. But he's still scoring points, and it's the Frenchman. Yves DEMARIA has taken the lead, and the checkered flag then. Volan finishes second. Everts, under pressure from DeWitt, should come home in third, and DeWitt was fourth. And there's DEMARIA, hot but chuffed with a 20 points and a race win. ALBERTIJN, well, what can you say? Except hard luck. And there's Werner DeWitt alongside his teammate. They are absolutely decimated by this. But ALBERTIJN still leads the World 250 Championship by a slender margin. Everts receiving treatment onto that shoulder. But to the winners, as always, goes the kisses from the lovely girls.